Welcome to Life in Times of Cotto. I am your host, Jay Cotto, and in today's discussion, I want to discuss being the type of person that just kind of just gives in abundance. I'm talking about giving from the heart, making sure that the people that you're surrounded by always feel like they're capable. They always feel like they're accepted. They always feel like they're wanted or needed. So coming from a place like that, because that's just my character, I'm that way. I can't find a way to be any different. But because I'm that way, and because I believe in people, and I believe in people to being the best possible version of themselves when necessary, or even when they're not there. Even when they're not there, I try to speak life into. That's just what I do, right? I just try to speak life into people. It's not even me. It's not just me doing what I do for a living. Because again, I'm a manager. I'm a supervisor. Right? I get supervise people. I got to motivate people. That's my job. But the reason I enjoy my job is because it falls into my personality trait, right? I like to breathe life into people. I don't like to see people at their lowest possible, but I'm coming to terms with the fact that you could be that way. You could be that way, and you can get drained. You could get drained by people who just don't want more than where they are. There's no changing them. There's no getting them out of this funk, so to speak, right? They just don't want to move from there. And the more that you try, the more draining it becomes for you. That level of empathy that you have, you're giving, and you're draining yourself in the process. And that becomes a burden, man. You wear that, you hold that takes a lot out of you. And people don't, they're not aware of how much that takes from you, you know and it becomes just like the person themselves that you're trying to breathe life into. The moment you see them, now it's a chore, like it's a job. It's not something that you enjoy doing, because that the conversation or the space that this person's in is going to drive you banana sandwich, right? It's just gonna become something that it's a fucking job, when it's something that you give freely and naturally. So it does weigh on you. It does become a burden. It does become a job. It does become something that is hard to deal with, and then it starts to drain you and what ends up happening is it becomes and I hate to say this because I don't believe it, but it becomes part of your character, because it's like a virus, right? You see that person, and then that person just kind of sucks the life out of you. So however you were feeling before, right, it just dies. And it takes a lot of work to bring that back, and that person just becomes draining. So yeah, because I do that for a living, because I've run into all kinds of people, because I see people in all different spaces in life, whether it be one of my employees, or whether it be one of my clients, or whether it be the employee's clients. You kind of see these people in different places, and you start realizing that the more time you spend with certain people, that they can become draining. They don't, you got to want to get out of that. And you can't give someone all of you or all of what you got when they don't want more than who and what they are. You can't care more than them, because they have to care. If they don't care, it's not a good look, man. And I'm coming to terms with that. Like, I'm coming to, and you see it all the time, and you don't really pay attention to it. And I hate to use this as an example, but you got people that in marriages, for example, right? You got marriages that, whether it's the wife or the husband, doesn't really matter, but either or, you have these people that are constantly giving, constantly showing up, constantly giving 100%, moving forward over and over and over and over again. And eventually, the person who's giving is dry. They can't give no more. They finally hit that point where it's just like, yo, fuck this. Right? And you don't realize that that is a point, that is a place, that is a very real place. When you give in abundance like that, you can really hit these places, and I come across a lot of people like that. you know there's people that I come across daily that are like that. And here's the wildest part about what I'm saying, and I'm not solving a problem, I don't believe, but it is something that I thought about. you know when you're a leader, like when you're put in a position of supervisor or manager, for example, right? You're thought to, you got to find what that person cares about to motivate them, right? And that's a very real thing. I believe that. I think that that's true. Like, you gotta want to do that, and you gotta want to have that position. But just like that relationship, just like that marriage, right? That person's got to want it, because you have more than just that one person to deal with, right? You want to make sure that you're giving equally. You want to make sure that you can give consistently. You want to make sure that you're able to spread yourself across what's necessary. You can't just keep diving on one person, and that person is giving no return. So yeah, I'm in a place now that I apply it that way, in my, talking about that marriage, talking about my job. I'm in a place now where it's just like, yo, man, as true as that might be, you got to want that shit though. Like, if you don't want that, and I'm breathing life, and you don't want that, and you can't find it in yourself to want better than where you are, there's nothing else I could do, you know. And it's not even me giving up, because should that person change their mind, I'm there 100%. I'm full throttle, baby. But you got to want that shit. If you don't want that shit, I can't give it. I got to give it to the people that want it. I got to give it to the person that wants it. So on and so on and so on. And that's the crossroads that I'm at, man. There's so many different people in life. There's so many different avenues. There's so many characters. There's so many people I come across that fill me, with joy. There's people that add to me, as opposed to just taking away and never returning. You know what I mean? You ever see that fucking jar, that little, leave a penny, take a penny, right? That's what I'm talking about. You got to make sure that whatever you're doing, do what you're doing at 100%. But you gotta align yourself with the people that want to add more, that want to give you more, that give you a return. You can't keep caring about someone who don't give a shit. You know, and it's a sad place. It's a sad place to be. It's a sad place to see. And it affects you. It starts to affect you, right? You start to realize, oh shit, man. I don't fucking feel good, and it starts wearing you down, and it starts becoming a burden. And that's not how you should be. That's not how anyone should be. So I guess what I'm basically trying to say is, align yourself with what makes sense for you. Align yourself with what makes you rise. Align yourself with the things that add life, that breathe life, that allow life. Don't allow anybody to take nothing from you. Don't allow anyone to steal your happiness, your joy. Anyway, do what you do it well, do it the best way you know how. Jay Cotto, I am out. Peace.